If you've been in a spot where you feel like life is just happening to you, this is an episode that you don't want to miss. Welcome back to the Broken to Brave podcast. I have Chelsea Litsey with me today, and she has been on a wild ride in life. And I think that most of you are going to be able to relate with multiple aspects of her journey. So I cannot wait to share her with you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, you have been through a lot, including struggling with anxiety and just at times feeling like life was happening to you. Can you tell us a little bit about what life was like before? What are some of the things that were coming up for you and that you were struggling with?
Yes, if I were to bring you back, let's bring it back to when I started my career. On the outside, everything looked great. I was one of the youngest executives at Merrill Lynch. I went on to work for ESPN, the Anaheim Ducks. I was like high functioning, right? On the outside, I looked like I had it together. I had started my own PR and marketing agency, and all the check boxes were clicking. I had a husband, and he and I were traveling everywhere. We were having kids and the houses we wanted, and everything was coming together. But internally, I was spiraling, right? I had been diagnosed with multiple autoimmune illnesses. Ever since the age of 9, I had dealt with debilitating stomach pain to the point where I ended up in the ER all the time thinking I had appendicitis. It felt like a knife was literally getting jammed in my side. Everyone knew me as the girl who had health issues. High achieving, great, but had health issues.
Yeah.
I was always really losing too much weight. I always looked ill.
Oh.
And I'd say at the pinnacle of my career, I had built my business to a point that I could only have dreamed of. I had 7 women working for me and maybe 10 other external 1099 employees. Everything was going great. I had 2 children, but each birth wreaked havoc on my system. I had mastitis for 4 months with each
4
baby.
months. Oh,
Which,
Chelsea.
I know. For those who have never had it, it feels like you have the flu.
Yep.
And then I had a baby that woke up 5 times a night and had some sensory stuff. So he was constantly fussy. And I think all of those things led to me withdrawing in life, me starting to have anxiety, which I had experienced before. And it was so strong that just every day was, what could go wrong? Why is all of this happening to me? To the point where I remember just hitting rock bottom. At this point, my husband, I was so stressed out all the time and I was so ill all the time. He started drinking very heavily. And then I hit rock bottom. My neck went out. I had to have surgery or replace a disc replaced from bending over my laptop too much.
Wow.
So for those listening, I highly recommend something that lifts your laptop off and not just to be curled up in your bed doing that. But to me, hitting rock bottom was actually the best thing that could have happened to me in hindsight.
In hindsight, yes.
I hit this place where I just woke up one day and was like, I cannot do this anymore. I can't keep traveling to New York every week. I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I felt like I had no support. I felt like the world was just happening to me. I had you name it, I had been diagnosed with it. At one point, I was wearing a glucose monitor 24/7, taking insulin, taking thyroid medication, doing a mold detox because I had what they deemed chronic inflammatory response syndrome, an autoimmune illness, which basically your body's attacking itself.
Yeah.
And I kept being told over and over again that these things were incurable, that I was going to have it for the rest of my life. So every little thing I was taking in as like, I'm cursed, something's wrong with me, everything's happening to me.
Did you feel at war with your body at all?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's so common, that I hear from women in this community.
Yeah, I was mad at it. I was raging with it. And in hindsight, I wasn't listening to it. It was shouting things at me because here's the thing. When you push through again and again and again, and you don't listen to your body, you will get to a place like I got to, where it just starts breaking down until you listen.
If you don't listen, I'll make you listen.
Yeah, sure. It made me listen.
Yep.
It made me listen completely. But that week that I hit rock bottom, where I thought maybe I'm going to lose my husband, I can't continue this business. My health something has to change. And in that week, I was introduced to a modality. I was finally saying yes to everything. I'd seen like 50 doctors, you name it, the head of gastroenterology at UCLA, conventional medicine. I had seen maybe, I don't know how many functional medicine doctors, and they had helped to some degree.
All of this, let me ask this question. All of the approach up to this point was unrelated to anything emotional. Yeah. And it was all, okay. I cut
Correct.
to the chase. Yeah.
And not only that, I had been told by multiple doctors that it was in my head. And instead of me relating that to emotions, I was like, they think I'm crazy. And it would anger me, right?
Then you
'Cause I'm
felt
like,
invalidated.
right? I was like, yeah, this is obviously in my body.
Yeah.
In hindsight, absolutely. If you had told me 5 years ago even that all of this was stemmed from emotional suppression, from traumatic things that had happened in my past that I never faced, that my body was bringing it up to be healed, I would have been like, you're crazy.
You are absolutely nuts. But no.
No, I can tell you with absolute certainty, as a woman who is sitting here today, who has completely cured her symptoms of autoimmune illness, like I mean completely, who has zero anxiety anymore, I can say that it is absolutely not only the reason, it's also your reason for hope, because when you face it, everything can change. Like everything can change.
I love that line so much. When you face it, everything can change, quite literally everything. And then when you reference my body was like screaming, it was trying, like even the anxiety, like, listen to me. And you were turning away from it because you didn't know.
I didn't know. And I'm a very determined individual. I was like, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it my way. And I'm going to find all the scientific reasons why it's not working. And lo and behold, if I had just settled into it, it probably would have come, which eventually it did. The second that I surrendered and was like, this isn't going to work, something has to change. I'm going to do something differently. The opportunity came up. The right coach and person came up that I could work on.
When the student is ready, the teacher appears.
That's right. That's right. Honestly, it was within the month. And in my very first session with this coach, I uncovered the root cause of all my autoimmune illness, of all my anxiety. And it was a big T trauma that happened when I was 9. And unlocking that, so many people I've heard, I wouldn't want to know. Well, that moment for me was freedom.
Yeah.
It was freedom.
Yeah.
And the tools were so powerful that I was able to release it super fast.
Right.
So, yeah, it was awesome. And it unlocked, I, like you, became so obsessed with the fact that this is even possible that I'm like, I need to shout it from the rooftops. Everyone needs to know about this.
Everyone. What would you say to the people who, maybe there's people listening who are scared to look at it?
Yes.
The trauma, the emotions. What would you say to them?
I'd say that's totally normal. There's a protector part in your brain that has been protecting you for a very long time. Yeah. But you need to ask it if it is actually protecting you, because suppressing emotions, to me, is the root cause of all illness. Anxiety, depression, all of that. So really looking at it is likely your key to freedom. Yeah. I know you and I both have a mentor who always says, and Carl Jung, what you resist persists.
Yes, yes.
And that's what I would say is the thing. It's just find a way to feel safe, find a practitioner that can help you move through this in a powerful way. Yeah. Because it's a key to your freedom.
Absolutely. I like to think of it, I don't know why a treasure box pops in my mind, because people will say like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to open Pandora's box. And so we've got this treasure box that you open, and you might be scared to look inside, but what's at the bottom of the treasure box is an oxygen tank. Because the reaction I hear from people all the time is, well, what am I going to find?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. What I found in mine was pretty horrific. And if I can look at that and feel like I do now,
Yeah.
I can tell you it is worth it. There are tools that help you move through it quickly. It's not like I would say traditional talk therapy. I could see not wanting to go to sit in it like that. I wouldn't have done well with that. I needed tools that would get the emotions out of my body to reframe the root cause quickly. But there are tools that do that
Yeah.
in a powerful way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you finally got to that point and that you're able to look at now, well, that rock bottom, life was actually happening for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
my
so
goodness.
for
Yes.
those listening, what if you look at that too? What if life is always happening for you?
Yes. And I would say that if you learn the lesson, it doesn't have to keep happening.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So if you actually listen, if I had listened to my body earlier on, I probably could have gotten to this faster. So I would say start listening so it doesn't have to scream.
Yes. 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 Okay.
Avoid what I did. My goodness, avoid what I did. Even with that, I'm grateful because I think I had to get to that point to appreciate all of this now
Yeah.
and to be able to share it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So you shared different aspects of your journey, but maybe not the one about your business, or was this the rock bottom piece that you were referring to earlier with the business?
With the business, it hit at the exact same time. With my business was thriving work-wise, but I had zero ability to compartmentalize my business with my life. I had it tied it in so closely with my value that I couldn't see the difference. So if you're a person who reads emotions in emails, tones in emails, then this is for you. How people react to business, I was taking it personally. I was taking it as part of my value, which it never had. So my business was thriving, but that's because I was pouring everything into it.
Yeah.
And that was affecting my relationships for my kids and my husband. And once I realized that my value wasn't tied into my business started thriving and I had balance instead of, I always feel before I always felt behind. I had this like, it wasn't enough thing going on. And so if that's you in your business, I urge you to look at why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And I'll say this part. Not everybody listening is a business owner. Not everybody listening works. Everyone listening at some point in their life, and maybe today. And so for listeners, this is what I want you to ask yourself. Am I tying my self-worth with anything external to me? Whether it's an accomplishment, whether it's what somebody says, does, thinks. And that's what I want you to take away from this. If you just glossed over, well, I don't have a business, this isn't relevant, you might be being too literal. This is absolutely relevant. And so, Chelsea, I would love for you to elaborate on anything that comes to mind that you did that where you separated your worth from those external factors, your business success.
Yes. So one, I realized I asked myself why I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I got to the real why because sometimes it was like, oh, so I can prove that I'm enough. And if that was the answer, then I stopped doing whatever it is that I was doing. When it came from like true passion, from now I do what I do to serve because I truly want people to heal. And if it's not a business, let's say it's for a partner. So let's use my husband as an example. I was like, oh, sure, I'll do that. Go camping, whatever it was. But it wasn't a compromise and it was just so he would like me or do something. Then that was also what I was deeming as unselfish was actually selfish because it was to benefit me. So I think you really got to figure out your why. And is it like to protect you versus what you truly are aligned with?
Yeah. Are you trying to avoid feeling something?
Yes.
Most of the time,
Or are you
yes.
placing your worth in someone else?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if my husband's happy, I'm happy. Well, there's something there.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this fell into your lap within the month and life is completely different for you. Is there anything else you want to share about your journey and how things have been after? A question popping in my mind is so often when I meet people, they don't know how good it can be.
Yes. I will say I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either. And I think people think that their whole life has to change.
Yeah.
And I will say very little in my life changed, but I changed so dramatically that the ripple effect changed others. Like, for example, when I stepped out of anxiety by doing this deeper work, by facing my emotions, and there was like a month of intense release and journaling and looking at things. But after that, my husband kept asking me, is your anxiety going to come back? And I was like, no, it's gone.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, he was like, oh my gosh, it is gone. Like, teach me how to do this thing.
Yeah.
But just me changing how I spoke to him, how I was around him, he stopped drinking. I didn't have to set an ultimate. I mean, so much in my life changed. I was a mom who was like quick to lose my temper with my kids.
Yeah.
And my eldest was acting out in many ways. And now he is a different kid.
Yeah.
Why? Because
You.
I'm the regulated nervous system in the room.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And he is night and day different. So that's the other thing I'd say. This is kind of a tangent, but if you have kids and you're worried about them, work on you because it truly shifts things for everyone in your world.
Always start with you, and the ripple effect is just incredible.
It's magical, really.
It's magical. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So often it can be easy for people to say, well, I'm like this because this thing, even in a lot of times, even this thing happened in my past, or this is how I was raised. And if you're doing that, it makes sense on the one hand. And if you continue to blame that thing versus, okay, I'm here now. What shifts do I want to make in myself? Taking that ownership and that accountability and being willing to relate differently to yourself, to life, to your thoughts, to your emotions, to your dreams, to your intuition, to all of it, anything can change for you. And it will.
Absolutely. It is a huge thing to take ownership and say, this is what I want. I'd say one key thing I learned, and it's a great tip for those who want to shift, who can start to see the hope of what could be, is to focus on what you want versus what you don't want. I will tell you, I was a really bad at this and I did not know the science behind it. So your subconscious does not process negatives. So if you're constantly saying, I don't want to be sick, I don't want them not to invite, whatever negative thing that you don't want to have happen, and you're constantly saying it to yourself, your subconscious is only hearing, I want to be sick. I want this person to be mean to me, or whatever it is. I recently had a client who was going through a nasty divorce. And when I told her this, she was like, oh my gosh, I've been telling myself my whole life that I don't want to marry my dad. And I married my dad. And I was like, yes, this is something that is sounds so simple, but it is so life-changing when you truly embody it.
And even getting clear on what you want, because sometimes asking people that question, all they have been thinking about is what they don't want.
Yeah.
And not really spent much time at all thinking about, well, what do I want my life to look like?
It's pretty powerful when you give your brain a good destination to go after.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Oh, just that if you're in a place where you feel broken, exhausted, like life has been happening to you in a massive way, just know that there's like a doorway you can walk through. There is a moment in time, and maybe this is your moment to look at, why has this been in your movie? What are you supposed to learn to stop the pattern, to let go of the old? Because the resources are out there. They're not mainstream yet.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this, you're already there.
Yeah.
You have Dr. Steph. You've got tools. So I would say step into them in a way that is powerful and big. The change starts with you.
Such good advice and absolutely true. Thank you so much. Anything else that you wanted to share?
I mean, I could talk forever on this.
Always.
I could talk forever on this. One other thing that I would say that really helped me,
Yeah.
if you just want like a tool, is meditating. But if you're a person who, like me, was like, I can't meditate, my mind races when I try to meditate. There are unique ways to do it. I have something called Mind Magic Audios where I walk you through a visual, and they've helped people step out of panic attacks and all different things.
Beautiful.
But even right now, you could just take 2 minutes, put the timer on your phone, and just start journaling all the things that pop into your head. Just 2 minutes, and see if you're writing all the things you don't want or if they're the things you do want. And if you do, like I did years ago, write down all the things that you don't want. At the end, I want you to cross them out and say, what do I want instead? And just write that out.
Beautiful. If those listening are connecting with you, they want to learn more about you, where's the best place for them to find you?
They can go to chelsealitsey.com
Okay.
or at BizClarityCoach on Instagram.
Beautiful. I will put both of those links in the show notes so that anyone listening can go ahead and click that easily and connect with you. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.